Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so now we're talking about the Warriors and the Grizzlies game four. This game is going to be in San Francisco tonight. And judging by what we saw in San Francisco in game three, there's a whole lot of cause for panic. Forget the word concern. Let's throw that out the window. Panic in Memphis. Um, and the reason why I say that is because John Morant went down with a knee injury of some sort and is expected to miss game four. So now that we understand that to be the case, we know that we're getting Dylan Brooks back if you're Memphis, um, and that should help with your defense, even though his offense has been real bad in this series. So as bad as they looked defensively in the last game, obviously gave up 142 points. You could see something was really missing there defensively, and it was Dylan Brooks. They needed his tenacity, they needed his ability, they needed him in place defensively to kind of continue to help quarterback things. But unfortunately, defense wasn't the only problem they had. Offensively, they couldn't get anything out of their bench. Got a lot of guys going 1 for and 0 for all up and down that bench. 3-point shooting, be damned. They just didn't have it on the bench. Now, the starters did. You were able to get some threes out of Jaren Jackson, John Morant, and Desmond Bane. I think all three of them had 4. But everyone else, no, it wasn't falling. Zaire Williams started in this game, didn't have the greatest offensive performance, even though he caught some lobs and stuff like that. Ultimately, they weren't able to get the 3 ball out of him. So this is a situation where they had a lot going for him in terms of John Morant. He was playing so fantastic, but he injured his knee on some type of phantom play. We don't really actually know here on this channel where he actually hurt that knee. He's complained that he thought it was on a play where Jordan Poole was reaching for the ball and accidentally grabbed his knee. That was cap because, from what I understand, it wasn't even that knee that got hurt. So that was cap. But someone did say he was trying to block Klay Thompson's 3-point shot and landed funny, and they believe that's where he hurt the knee. I haven't seen footage of that, so I'm just rolling off what they said. Either way, the knee is hurt. The MRI results have not been released, which is strange, being that it's been over 24 hours. But we know for a fact that he's expected to miss tonight's game. So now, obviously, if you've been following the Memphis Grizzlies, you know they've been better, like literally better without John Morant. He missed 22 games and they only lost 5 of them. And a couple of those games, I think they played against the Warriors and won against the Warriors. So from a matchup perspective, if you're following the regular season, you probably pretty much think that the Warriors are still very much in trouble against this team. But what we know is this is the playoffs. We also notice that the Warriors are a different team than they were when they seen the Memphis Grizzlies in those situations. And, this is a situation where at this point in the series, the Warriors are already up 2-1 with another game at home coming up. So even if you love the Memphis Grizzlies without John Morant, you do understand that they're up against it right now, against a team that has already more experience than them, a bunch of young players that they do have to deal with, and ultimately, just their own inexperience to have to overcome. So without John Morant, you don't like them in this series if you're me. You don't like it. I didn't like them winning this series, but I did have them stretching it out to 7. But if Ja's not going to play, this thing's going to end very soon. It just is, man. It just is. Look, I like what Jaren Jackson's able to do when he's out there, but his foul trouble issues have been the bane of his playoffs. Even though he's been able to shake that off, he had a good game in the last game. You just wonder if that's going to rear its ugly head at some point, especially without John Morant. He's going to be asked to do more. Can you get more out of Zaire Williams? He's such a young fella. He's only 19 years old, starting playoff games. Desmond Bane's finally getting it back together. I understand he was dealing with a bad back. Maybe he can continue to get healthier as the series progresses. The defense is going to be focused on him, and they know he has that back. So I would imagine he's going to be feeling some elbows in that thing tonight. So that's the issue with the Memphis Grizzlies, the health of their team and the overall anemic play of their bench, particularly from behind the arc. You cannot win, and I've said this in another series as well. It's a similar situation, but you cannot win when your bench don't do anything but come in the game and shoot threes. They're not winning. That's just not going to happen. So that's pretty much what you saw from the Memphis Grizzlies. Guys like DeAnthony Melton going 5 for 15. That's not going to cut it, man. Other guys going 0 for 5. I think it was Contra went 0 for 5. I mean, when coach calls your number, particularly on the road in the playoffs, it's on you to play well. Obviously, the defense is turned up, the intensity's turned up, and all that. But for me, I just say, if you want to win a championship, every man needs to be on the same page, and everybody needs to be on a string. And for Memphis as a young team, they're still learning that. They're still trying to get to that point. Now, going into this game, obviously they're up against it. Jordan Poole's coming off a 27-point game. He's looking like he's shaking off his elbow injury pretty good. Klay Thompson is going through the motions, but he's still Klay Thompson. You still have to deal with him. And being that he struggled in this series, you just know that he's going to have a big game before it closes. He hit 4 threes in the last game, so he's shaking off some of those woes. Obviously, game 2 was the infamous travel and all that other stuff that he didn't do well in that game. But it's still Klay Thompson. He's at home, and I expect he's going to go off. And of course, Steph Curry went for smooth, easy 30 points. You know how it is with Steph. He's going to shoot, and he's going to make shots, and you're gonna have to deal with him at all times. He's continuing to keep himself in a good position to continue to be in shape and to have his conditioning where it needs to be. And of course, his skills are Hall of Fame. So whenever he's on the floor, he's a threat to break records. Simple as that. One of the best players to ever do it, the greatest shooter to ever do it. And this is another opportunity for him to add to his playoff career. What he's done in these playoffs thus far in his career, yet another playoff game to do it. So I'm optimistic that he goes off for a huge night. Anything can happen. It's a playoff game in Golden State. Simple as that. Andrew Wiggins has impressed quite a bit this series. You want to see him continue to be on the floor to do what it is that he does. Obviously, things change now that Ja Morant is removed from the series. So the defensive assignment, the concerns that they had with GP2 not being there, now all of that kind of changes, kind of slip some people around, do some things differently, not worry as much about them getting in your paint and destroying you continuously. So that's going to be interesting. I think you may see Memphis shoot more jump shots tonight because of Ja's absence. Shot selection is going to be interesting. I'm going to see who can help make up for the playmaking ability of a Ja Morant. That's going to be curious. I look at a guy like Slow-Mo who can make up in that area. I think they can do that by committee, to be honest with you. Everybody on the team pretty much has good floor vision. But when you're talking about Ja Morant, you understand that he glues everyone together. Not only is he a threat to score from everywhere and gets in the paint at will, but he also makes sure everybody else gets the ball in their spots. So as a team, they were able to handle it all year long without him. So they find a way. I'm pretty sure they'll do it tonight. So that's what it is, man. I think the Memphis Grizzlies are going to play well. I do expect this to be a trap game for the Golden State Warriors without Ja Morant. But it's only so much trapping you're going to do for a team that's won this much and knows it's a playoff game. They're going to be ready. It's a home game. Their arena's going to be jumping. Even if you think you're going to catch them off guard, I think the chances of you doing so is very, very slim. They should be sharp tonight. They should be pretty rested. And I think this is a game where I'm looking at Draymond Green and I'm saying he knows Ja's not on the floor. He knows that. How is that going to affect how he operates? How is that going to affect how Jaren Jackson operates? How is that going to affect some of his duties defensively, given the fact that Ja's not on the floor? How does that affect how he ultimately runs the floor? Because at the end of the day, it's him that I'm paying most attention to on the Golden State Warriors. Because if you remove him from this situation, it's falling apart. Just like we were saying in regards to Ja being the glue guy for his team. Obviously, we know Draymond is the glue guy for his. And he had 8 assists in that last game, a bunch of boards. And I just think that one of the reasons why their team, everybody gets their shots where they're supposed to. Everybody's able to kind of have balance on their score. Everybody's happy. They got a bunch of guys need to be fed, and all of them are happy. Why is that? Because Draymond makes sure they get the bill. He makes sure they get the ball. So, with Ja not being out there, I think that's going to change a few things that he's going to be. It's going to give him a little more to deal with in terms of now the ball's going to be in Jaren Jackson's hands, I'd imagine a bit more. So that means more banging for Draymond, that kind of thing. So very curious going on there. Also, Jonathan Kuminga had a really good game in the last game. High percentage. You want to see him continue to get those easy buckets that he's born to do. He dunks with ease. He has a really nice package of dribble moves and good handles and things of that nature for his size. And I just think he can help them defensively as well with some of those bigs. So I keep an eye on him. I think his trajectory is headed upward, and as they continue to use him, I'd imagine he's going to be doing some breaking out in these playoffs. So, yeah, very excited about Jonathan Kuminga. Easy scorer. Very, very. If you need an easy bucket, he's going to get it for you. Who else? I mentioned Otto Porter already. He's been very impressive. Continues to rebound the ball, particularly on the offensive glass. He tends to get the most timely offensive rebounds. I mean, when you need an offensive rebound, he goes and gets it. And that's something I've been noticing him do at a consistent rate in these playoffs. So as long as he's continuing to do that for this team in a low-key way where nobody's really paying attention to him, he's going to catch them all guard every time. So been super impressed with Otto. All in all, man, the Golden State Warriors, like I said, they dropped 142 points on a Memphis Grizzlies team that really didn't have a whole lot other than Ja Morant. And when he went down, that was it. So, it's a Memphis team that's probably shell-shocked right now. They're going to be licking their wounds. And, it stands to reason why they may be a little hesitant tonight, maybe a little shook up tonight. And I think the Golden State Warriors are going to jump on them. I think the Golden State Warriors are going to smell that blood early, and they're going to have to jump out on them. But I think the team that gets out to a hot start is really going to be the team that's going to have the edge. I think there will be a hot start of some sort, and that'll be the team that I think wins the game. Just a feeling. Doesn't have to be nothing. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to say, man. That is it. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors will be playing tonight in the second game of tonight's schedule. And, of course, I'll have you guys another video as that game ends, maybe at halftime, depending on how I feel. And that is what I got for you, BDF44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.